Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where, as you can see on the screen, or as if you're listening, anywhere else, we're doing a tier list basically focused around the squad this season. You can see the rankings there. New contract now is the top ranking because, I mean, a lot of your top players are going into the last couple of years of their deal. We want to keep holding them, so that's the top. Obviously, keep if they're still going to be in and around the squad. Good players for us for the upcoming season. Loans could be young players that don't get too much game time. We'll give our thoughts on that as well. And then sell. We've got Diallo and Ramsey in here. If we don't choose to keep off, we'll put them in sell. But aye, that's the categories as always. If you could like, subscribe, share about for us, very much appreciated. That's a sort of different video we like to do. After the season's done, get our thoughts out there. So starting off, I think the first one here is Adam Devine, the youngster that obviously played in the last couple of games of the season there. Get his debut against Dundee United at home. Looked decent, to be fair, for coming straight in. We hadn't really saw much of him at all, even on the bench or anything. So for him to be trusted at right back position by the manager, and then obviously play the Hearts game and get I think he man of the match actually that game as well. So done all right for his two performances. Don't know if he's, because we've got the Polish lad there and Zakowski, I don't know if he'll ever really sort of break in this season. So personally, I would loan him out.
I would
get him that experience because he looks like he would come back and still like be a player for us.
I put him in the loan list as well, mate. He did look quite impressive, but maybe just playing week in and week out at the Scottish Premiership level would do him a world of good.
Nah, I think loan for him, I think he's got quite a big future, to be honest with you, even if it isn't at Ibrox. I think he's quite a decent player. Alfredo Morelos obviously needs no introduction. No. This guy is running down into his contract, I think 2024. So, I mean, we need to get this guy on although he missed out a large part of the season at the end, the business end of the season's probably some of the biggest games we've played, right? It cannot be underestimated how important he is to everything we do, and how important he has been for seasons and seasons. I definitely need to get him on a new contract, and hopefully he's fit and firing and ready to go. Seeing he's been in the gym and that on the off season now. So hopefully we get him tied down to a new contract.
It's a no-brainer, mate. New contract for my amigo.
Of course.
The man that we all adore, he has to have a new contract. The next one is a no-brainer. I don't want to see him next season. I love him, but nah.
Well, what day are we on the now? So this is recorded on the Monday, the 30th. So, I mean, if it has to be, I think we would hear if any extensions on running out contracts are actually going to be probably Wednesday time this week. McGregor's obviously up this year. Got his sort of cameo in the cup, got his goodbye for the fans, it seemed. But then last week when we were recording as well, it seemed as if he was maybe getting looked at for another year.
All I'll say, Jack, is after the ovation and the emotion we're all feeling towards him, even though he had probably a poor season in his standards, if he stays at the club for another year, you know the bit in the office where Michael Scott screams, "I want to kill myself." That will be me on Wednesday if I see he's got another year. I can't do it. It's time he hangs up the gloves for me personally. I cannot do it, man.
Yeah. Although he's, as we say, he's been a great servant, and in his second spell as well, he's come back and he's done fantastic for us in the sticks. But I think it's just time for McGregor to really hang up the gloves. Let somebody else get a chance at being number one, look elsewhere, and hopefully bring in a decent goalkeeper. Obviously been linked with Butland, Sam Johnston. That's obviously going to be available this summer. So a couple of decent keepers if we do decide to go down that route. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, especially the way the board sort of handle these situations, and Al McGregor does get another year. Wouldn't be best pleased at myself. The next one then, Amad Diallo. He sort of said his goodbyes on Instagram and Twitter. Said he was he enjoyed his time in that here. So it looked as if he's going. But speaking as fans, if the opportunity arise, would you take him back for another year?
I would take him back for another year just because personally I feel like he was just starting to get used to the league. Do you know what I mean? You got to remember as well, it's taking these players a wee bit of time maybe just to adapt. Everton's still sort of really for Gio, still just getting used to players who he really wants as his regulars, what have you. I would take him back for another year. Do you know what I mean? I do think there's a lot of quality there. I don't think it would hurt Man United to loan him out for another year to us. Do you know what I mean? In a position where you've constantly been talking about since Dan Cundés, nobody's really stepped up and made it their position. So it would maybe be nice to have him come back up. Will he probably come back up? I don't think he will. He'll probably get loaned to like Middlesbrough in the Championship or something. You never know.
Yeah, I think obviously everybody will know my opinion. I would love to see him back for
Ah,
another year.
right.
I think, especially when the signing was made, it was one probably I've been most excited for. Getting such a starlet like that coming to the club and his reputation. It was a big coup at the time. Struggled at the time and then sort of was bombed out. Maybe that was for his own benefit. Gio sort of took him out the firing line because he was getting a lot of criticism online, which I thought was unfair at the time. And then he came back in, he sort of integrated him into the squad again and played the last couple of games. The thing I'll say about him, he always gets a big chance. No matter, he always gets a chance, even in the Scottish Cup final where he started, he had that header. It was a big chance in the game. 9 times out of 10, he'll score as well. So I think to continue the development, it would be good for him to be here, especially with the season we've had. But
just a key word that you said there, mate, development. I think when he came up here, a lot of players fans were expecting a finished player. Do you know what I mean? We were expecting him to light up the league, but he's still young. He's still learning the game. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of talent in there, and it would maybe be nice for Gio, maybe obviously getting back on another year. And
I think it is unlikely because he might be in Ten
he's
Hag's
definitely
plans for
fans,
Manchester United, but as fans, we'll put him there because I would like to see him come back.
I would like to see him. Aye, this next one, I'm sorry, this boy here, supposed to be out on loan at a club and home and away, he's fallen.
Aye, Andy Firth has only ever played, I mean, I might be wrong, one game, and it was off the bench against Kilmarnock in the last day of the season in 2019. I genuinely think that's the only game he's ever played for us. When you think back to the start of the season when we had no goalies and Robbie McCrory was slung in, Andy Firth still wasn't on the bench. Like, it was still youth keepers. So I don't understand why he's still here. I get that you have these folk that are like good to have around the club and that, but especially with right now, I don't feel that he's necessary anymore. Maybe best for him to go and continue and actually play football elsewhere instead of being on Twitch, I guess.
No, I would agree, mate. I think he was one of them, maybe under the Gerrard era, where you could say around the squad and all that kind of stuff. But for Gio, I think there's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? I think it's probably time for him to go and play his game somewhere else. For me, I don't really. One game, that's all he's played for us.
Genuinely, I think one game and it was off the bench for half. Like, it was the last day of the season, one day. That's all I can remember. I think actually Kilmarnock beat us that day to get European football. I think that was that day. Steve Clark's last game, I think. So Andy Firth goes and sell. Borna Barisic next. Obviously, we've had a lot of debates about Borna Barisic this year. And I genuinely think it is time for Borna Barisic to
I'll give him credit though. I will give Borna Barisic credit. In the European runs, I said, when he's come in and he's been fantastic. The ball he played, as I say, in the Praga game, what have you, he's been fantastic in the European, what have you, and overall for the club, he has been fantastic. But there's some defensive errors there as well.
It's just like he doesn't benefit a lot from sort of, I don't know, the big games maybe. Like, you see, he obviously started the Europa League final, went off at the very end with cramp. I don't think he actually had the worst game ever in that, but no. I think he just fails to rise to the occasion. You remember back Frankfurt, it was all down that side, and Bassey had to cover a lot of things.
I won't forget that 3-0, as I say, mate.
It's telling about a player. The fact that he came back and he sort of played well against Braga, it looked like he'd found a new lease of life. It wouldn't surprise me again if he was here next season. But I think it's maybe time.
Just for the age he's at as well. I'm thinking as well, the age he's at. And, do you know what I mean? He can still offer a club a lot. And if he were to command a decent enough fee for him, I think it'd be a no-brainer, man.
Yeah, I think it might be time up for Barisic. The next one needs no debate.
That's my boy Calvin Bassey we're about to talk about here.
Yeah, it is.
No debate. Get that man a new contract, whatever he wants, give him it. I don't want him.
This has been the story of not even the summer yet. The story a week after the season's finished about Calvin Bassey. I mean, 6 Premier League clubs interested in him. We've heard Dortmund. Everybody's interested in him apparently after his heroics in the Europa League final and then the Scottish Cup final as well. And just overall this season, being able to adapt to 2 positions whenever asked at such a young age, playing international football. Get another assist the other day for Nigeria. So it's a guy that's getting a lot of attention.
England, Jack.
And he needs Nigeria. He needs to get a new contract. Well, at least I hope so. I hope he agrees to it himself. Looking back at his interview after the Scottish Cup final, he was focused on Rangers. He said he's looking forward to be here next season and improving even more. I like he's a humble guy and he'll just sort of say how he feels in the moment. Whereas I looked at Sadio Mane for Liverpool and he was like, I'll tell you where I'm going after the final. Kind of telling you I'm going to be on my way out. Well, Bassey just was like, he's happy here, I think. So
he's not driven by money at all. He's driven by, do you know what I mean, playing the game, loving his game. And he's adored up here, as I say. He's adored up here and it would be a shame if he was to leave, man. It'd break my heart, to be fair, as I say. One of them I looked at and I thought, that's a top player there. And I really just hope he stays for a couple more seasons, I would hope. But obviously I know the potential's there. I do think he will be in another European final eventually. But
this guy's going to be at the top of the game for a long time. I think this guy is.
I just hope he doesn't go to a bang average Premier League team. I don't really care. I hope he doesn't go to a bang average Premier League team.
Because we've seen his ability is just so much higher than that.
See if it was something like what I think Atletico did with what's his name? The French boy, the left back. What's his name?
Hernandez, was it?
Hernandez. Right, he was sold to Bayern Munich. But then I think they done a deal where he would stay at Atleti the following season on loan, and then he would go to Bayern. See if he was to go to a team like Bayern, and we just said here, just give him for 2 more seasons. He's not going to get into it. Just hurry up and give him for 2 more. I'd take it. I'd do it. We get a nice fee for him, and we get to see him play for Rangers for 2 more seasons. I'd do that. I would do something like that. I would just don't go to a bang average Premier League team. I can understand it would be your dream to go and play in the Premier League, but go to a club that you know you've got a chance of doing something. Do you know what I mean?
No.
A team that's going to finish 14th and sack their manager next season at Christmas time. Where are we at now? Cedric?
Sorry, an advert just played on that there. I couldn't even hear what you were saying there. Cedric, I'll just to finish on Bassey as well. I agree with you're saying there. If we had to move him on, it'd be nice to maybe do something somewhere to get him back and continue the development here before he moved on. But just with the money that's been quoted at the moment, that possibly suitors could be looking at paying for him. I mean, it's the sort of money that we as a club really can't reject at times. I really hope the contract gets signed and he commits to the club, and that whole sort of talk is put to one side. But he's definitely going to the top of the game. Let's hope it's with Rangers right enough. Let's hope he's taking us to another European final. The next one then, Cedric Itten. I think we've seen over the past couple of days that apparently he's went to Young Boys, 1.5 million. Again, a loss on that. Sent him out on loan to Germany last year. He came back, never really made an impact under Gio. I think it's telling that he's not really featured on the bench when we've not had a striker or anything so like that. So Cedric Itten looks to be on the way out. Another masterclass by Ross Wilson, let's say.
Well, I will just never forget how miserable he looked at the fan zone, where he was like barely answering questions. But at least he scored against the European champions at the start of the season and the friendlies there. And he's also scored against Bayern, so Young Boys a good club for him to go there. I mean, they battered Man United in the Champions League. Did they not 3-1?
They beat Man United last season, I think it was.
So I mean, that's who's the boy that's in charge of them? Him used to be in charge of Schalke and Huddersfield.
Oh, is it David Wagner that's in charge of them? I didn't know that.
I think so. I'm not too sure now, but when I last checked, it was him. But I think it's a good club for him, as you say. It's his kind of league. He's probably homesick as well, as you said, with the whole COVID situation that happened at the time. He's probably been missing his family as well. So maybe going back and, as you say, he's definitely going to get 10 goals or whatever if he's playing in his league. He'll definitely do well. And he goes with my best wishes, to be honest with you. It's just one of them that never worked. He's got a sensational goal against Motherwell. But you just wish the big guy or the best, personally, for me.
Yeah, of course, wish him all the best. He looks like he needs to be settled in a place and be trusted by the manager. And we've never really played his style of football, which I understand. Bring him in to maybe have a different option, but it's never really worked out for Cedric Itten. I can understand, as you say, with the lockdown in that last year and new country and that would have been tough, not being able to even socialise with the team. It was that strict at the time. So, goes with the best wishes. I think he will be a good striker over there. To be honest, we've shown that before. I think he'll be better suited over there, and we can recoup some of the money, and we'll see where we reinvest that. The next one then, Connor Goldson. It's a tough one. I would love to keep him. I would love to him to sign that contract, but I think he is gone. Let's be honest. I think it's done for Connor Goldson.
It is done for Connor Goldson, but as you say, another masterclass by the board. You know what I mean? Letting a player like Connor Goldson, who surely has added value to what he was already worth before we've paid, you know what I mean, what we paid for him, to go on a free and probably go down to what's at Nottingham Forest, which has got a back line of what Joe Worrell, Connor Goldson, and Scott McKenna. So, no, I would honestly listen. If it was, I'd keep him, as you say, mate.
Of course, you would love to put him up here. I'd love to give him a new contract.
To put him up a new contract, and he is probably gone. I always look back when I think about Connor Goldson, I think myself, all he had to do was clear the ball more European winners. Do you know what I mean? But he's overall his time here. He's been fantastic. There's no two ways about it for me. He has some silly mistakes in his game, switching off at times where you think to yourself, how you switched off there. But overall, probably maybe, as you say, he's been so important to somebody like Calvin Bassey as well in the development of him. Do you know what I mean? Giving him that confidence, being his vice captain, also being right beside him. So, it's one of them where you would probably want to sign a new contract, maybe keep him. If he hadn't signed a thing, I'd probably put him in a sale. But obviously, he's going to be leaving on a free, so he is in a sale, isn't he? So I put him there, mate.
Yeah, obviously, as you say, I'd love to keep him. A guy that's been so robust for seasons, not missing any games really. Always playing 90 minutes, always giving a good level of performance. Obviously has the odd mistake in him at times, but I think he's going to be a really big miss, especially we just looking at how bare the centre-half position is at the moment. You've got Helander, who's injured, Balogun, who's obviously reliable at times, but has an injury in him, Suter coming in, always injured. And then that leaves you with Calvin Bassey, King and stuff like that. So definitely an area of the team I think we need to invest in. Because, I mean, you're already going to lose the guy that's going to play 60 games a season for you. It's going to be tough, really tough to replace.
Massive as well, as we said at the time, last season obviously as well, which we had said, with all the health problems he's had in his life as well, do you know what I mean? To come up and be a consistent starter for Rangers, it's just tremendous, do you know what I mean? And as I say, mate, it's been a fantastic player for the club, man.
Nah, goes with the best wishes, of course. Connor Goldson, I do think he will move on. The next one is his partner, his compatriot, Philip Helander. Missed a lot of the season. I mean, he had a decent start to the season with the win against Celtic, his winning goal, and then he got injured a couple of weeks after that. Left him out for a long period. He came back, and then he never really looked as if he was fit at all. We sort of flung him in at the league games after a European game, and even at that, I just don't think he really looked too comfortable. And then obviously get injured again, another big injury. I think we need to cut our ties with Philip Helander.
Philip Helander, Bambi on ice, as I like to call him, probably would put him in a cell, but just with the players that we're losing, like as you say, Connor Goldson, you can't get rid of everyone. I think he's probably going to be staying at the club. I'd be putting him in the keep. I don't think the club are going to want to get rid of one or two centre halves in the same time. As you say, injury prone. I mean, I hope John Suter comes in, he can stay fit and he can stay consistent as Connor Goldson's been, but that's up for debate. But for me, I don't think the club are going to get rid of him this season personally, mate. I think he'll still be there.
I mean, that's fair enough.
We've already seen it all, that maybe Gio's not keen on him as well. I've noticed that as well. So you never know. But I don't think the board and whatever, I just don't think they can afford to sell everyone. Obviously, we don't want out. Obviously, this is our list. But I'm going to put him in a keep. I think the board want to get rid of him.
Well, my thoughts with Helander is just looking at the injury sort of record he's had coming back. I just don't think we can trust him as one of our main centre halves for next season. especially when you look at how injury prone that whole department is, as we said there. Like, I just don't feel that. I would rather get a couple of million back for him and then sort of try and find somebody, bring somebody in. I think they paid about 3-4 million for him, which on the basis of it, he is a top defender. Let's not kid ourselves on. Like, reads the game very well. Swedish international, of course. Like, he is a good defender, but I just feel for our situation at the moment, maybe the biggest telling is Gio doesn't really rate him. When he had him available, he still didn't play him.
Yeah, man.
So
that's what I know anyway about him, is that Gio just sort of was like, nah, you're not for me. I mean, if Goldson, as I say, if Connor Goldson was to sign a contract and stay, I'd definitely let him go. But I'm just thinking how better we're looking at centre half, especially if somebody like Calvin Bassey goes as well. What about left way? What players like San, Suter, and
I know it's going to be a massive rebuild.
It's an opportunity
where the players going, but
that is a massive opportunity for somebody like King, man, to come in and go, do you know what? I'm the number one now, boys. I'm looking at that.
Nah, I genuinely do think he'll go though. Again, I understand what you're saying as well. We need centre halves, and hopefully he stays fit. Hopefully his injury problems will go by him, and maybe he could be a decent starter for us next season. But I just don't feel like Gio rates him. I think that's maybe the biggest sort of point for me.
That's the biggest sign.
Okay, I'll keep him there now, but we'll go through at the end again. Glenn Kamara for me is a keep. I understand people saying if you had to sell him, it'd be Kamara. I get the points, but I just feel like Kamara's underrated. He goes about his business very quietly. He's playing different positions now under Gio. You're seeing a different part of him. I know he's away in UPS fans. He's at Monaco in the Grand Prix, and I mean, if he's playing football though, I think he's a good option to have. He's a top player. Comes in if Ryan Jack's maybe out injured, you can bring in Kamara. He can play forward. Like, I'm just liking Kamara under Gio. At the end of the last season,
I don't think Gio's going to want to lose him. I'm the same as you. I think he's a keep,
especially with his contract situation as well. He signed that extension last season till 2025. It's going to be big money probably if they wanted to sign him. Obviously, Finnish international as well. Playing for that national team all the time. Still 3 years left on it. It's going to be a big fee. I mean, if you obviously have to make up funds and that, maybe he is one of the parts. But personally, I'd keep him.
We getting on this waster then?
Well, I don't know how he's still here. Jake Hasty has to leave the club. Like, he's never actually played a first team game, I don't think. I think it was only a friendly or something like that.
Was it not against Burton or something?
It might have been actually that one. I don't understand the signing policy back then. We're just giving every 5-year deals for no reason. And we're still sitting here in 2022, going into a new season, and Jake Hasty's still contracted to the club. So that has to be one that gets moved on in the summer. The next one then, Yanis Hagi's been subjected to news over the past day there. Galatasaray apparently submitting a bid, 7 million, looking to secure his services, but apparently Rangers are basically saying no, he's a big player for us next season, and I hope he is. I really hope he gets to flourish under Gio next season, and I definitely try to keep him.
No, definitely. I don't think he would leave us for Galatasaray. No, yet. That's. I think he's definitely a man next season, as you say, mate. He's going to be a main man. Gio's definitely going to try and get the most out of him. I do think he'll feel like a new signing, which is I think something the board are counting on, really, when he comes back for this injury, so they don't have to splash the cash. But for me, just enjoyment. I mean, come on, how else are we going to sell tops? You're the best model right there. Nah,
I just feel like he's going to add a different dimension to his game. He's going to be hungry to come back and play for the badge after that injury. Missing out on a lot of football would have been hard for the guy. So I think he comes back into the team. He's going to be a pivotal player for us. Like you say, you've got Ramsey in that position, Arfield, Kamara, where he sort of plays behind the striker. You've now got Hagi added into that, which I think is just a massive boost to the area of the pitch. So I would love to see Hagi stay next season again. Obviously been subjected to transfer news, so we'll see what happens with him, but it looks like he's going to be staying. Another really poor signing. Like you just wonder what do the scouts see in a player like Jack Simpson? Like, I know he played in the Premier League with Bournemouth and whatever. but he came here and he looks like he's never seen a football before.
Oh.
Like maybe probably the worst centre. Rob Kiernan's on his level. Like that's where Jack Simpson is.
That's what
he's poor. I'd rip up that contract, to be honest with you. Just get rid of him any way you can. He's been a waste of time.
No, a massive waste of time. Was there no a fee with him? No, it was a free signing, wasn't it?
Nah, I think it was just a pre-contract signing at the end of the season, but we got him early, so we might have paid a bit for him. I don't know.
Just get him too, man. I mean, I look at those two last people on the sales list, and I'm thinking to myself, what a waste they have been. Do you know what I mean? Just absolutely what a waste. But my boy here, God bless America, bro, James Sands.
Oh well, we know he's going to be here next season, so he obviously goes in there.
He's got to be. For me, I hope he gets. I mean, just gets criticised for no reason. I really don't like it. Do you know what I mean? The guy comes on, does his job, does what's asked of him, and people still moan and groan at him. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those squad rotating players, which I like. And he can play multiple positions. You know what I mean? It might be one who, as you say, for to lose a number of centre halves, maybe be asked to do a job at the start of the doors until we can maybe bring people in. Or, as I say, Leon King, man, he's got to be looking at licking his lips. I'm sorry with this situation. Chance for him to break the door, but Sands is definitely one to keep. The question is, though, is he good enough to buy and keep him on the permanent? That's the real question. But I think we'll find that out.
I know. We'll find that out. This is going to be the season. We'll see Sands. Like this is going to be. Like, he's going to have a full pre-season. He's had the time to integrate with the squad. Yeah. We're going to find out what his best position is, and we're going to actually see him for a full season because I think he will be used a lot more than he was. Obviously, he was flung in straight away. Aberdeen away, tough place to go for your first away game. Started Livingston at home. Obviously played some minutes in the Europa League final as well. We came on at extra time, so it's clear that Gio trusts him enough to put him in and try him anywhere he can over the back four or in the midfield. So it's good to have a player like that they can drop in wherever needed. And I think we'll see quite a lot more of James Sands hopefully next season. The next one then, Joe Aribo.
Hang on a minute. Is that Joe Aribo celebrating possibly the best couple of minutes of my life?
Yeah, so that is the goal.
Aye.
Joe Aribo played about 68 games now in this season, still playing football, and we're actually done the season in Nigeria. So fair play to him, and his fitness levels are just through the roof. And a player like Joe Aribo, playing anywhere in the pitch, literally anywhere. It's just so vital. I think like he obviously came back for the Cup of Nations and he looked leggy and he didn't look the same player. But I mean, before that, I mean, he was the best player in the league by a distance at that point. So if we can get the same levels for Joe Aribo, I understand with his contract situation as well. I'd give him a new contract. Definitely a guy I want to see at the club next season.
No question about it. No question about it when it comes to Joe Aribo. For me, as I said to you, we just touched on it. Best player first half of the season. Come back, wasn't the best, but it's understandable, mate. He's played so many games of football. Deserves a nice break in the good old sun of USA. Going to get pictures with the Transformers or whatever he's doing you know, over there. But the three there that we've got there in the keep, and obviously we're going to touch on Ryan Kent as well. I cannot imagine looking at my football club and not seeing the four of them just together. They're like always together, the four of them, Kent, Bassey, and Glenn Kamara, they're always together. Do you know what I mean? Just to split them up would be, it's not one I want to see. But that image there you've used for Joe Aribo, mate, is it's bringing some emotion there, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Life, man.
Even when I was making this, tough one to look at. But Joe Aribo, I would love to see him here next season. I can understand there'll probably be people in for him. Had a really good season last year, scoring in the final.
Crystal Palace sort of keen on him.
I don't know if it was anything sort of materialised with that, but as I saw, it was just Crystal Palace that were interested in that. We'll see over the summer and see what happens with Aribo.
Is the next one Spider-Man's biggest fan?
Yeah, this is John McLaughlin, the guy that goes to the cinema all the time when we see him there. Obviously, he signed his extension. I think it was with Gio actually till 2024. He's still going to be here next season, of course, possibly challenging for the number 1 jersey.
No, listen, I know we're looking at. Do you know what I mean? You said Johnston and Butland, 2 really good goalkeepers. But see, at the meantime, let's give John McLaughlin a shot because he's been patient enough. And when he has come on and done a job, he's been fantastic. We've all been raving about him. Really a lot better than McGregor with the ball at his feet.
He relieves so much pressure for every situation when a ball's coming into his box. Like, as we were speaking about in last week's episode, the 88th minute corner Hearts had, he just grabs it and it's like nothing. McGregor's probably flatting at it and it leads to something. McLaughlin just puts the whole back line, just keeps him calm.
He demands, he keeps his area alert, you know what I mean? So
he's a decent shot stopper as well. I do believe we might sign another goalie, but I think in the summer it's going to be interesting to see the three goalies that we'll have sort of fighting out.
That other keeper, I just think, why not give McLaughlin a shot? Give him a chance, man. See what he can. I was to say, see what he can. We already know what he can do, but give him a chance, give him a shot. Do you know what I mean?
I definitely think he's capable, to be honest with you. I think, as we've seen for the cup run, he's been trusted in the final and the semis, and he done really well. Probably two of the strongest performances we actually made last season, just for the fact that we were so comfortable at the back. And I think John McLaughlin's quite key to that. Balogun, then, a guy I think we need to get him on a new contract for a further year. He slots in so effortlessly anytime you need him. Gio sort of used him as like sort of defending a lead sort of centre half. He sort of stuck with Bassey and Goldson. If we needed to shore things up, he'd bring on Balogun, or Balogun would maybe start in the next game. But as a whole, he's played quite a lot of football this season, scored a couple of big goals in the Europa League. Always a threat at corners, and I don't really think he's ever had a horrible game for us, to be honest with you. I think he's always been pretty decent. And I just think you need that level of consistency. He shows in his press conference how much he loves the club. Speaks very highly, everything about it. So for him, I would love to see him here another year.
Same as you. I'm on the same boat with Balogun. I love him. Top class performer, as I said to you. Doesn't really put a foot wrong. Also has that speed. I know everyone raves about. Oh, he's a quick defender as well. Gets really back, and he's not afraid to put his body on the line as well. That's what I like about him. Some centre halves nowadays just run away for the ball. Do you know what I mean? He runs towards it, puts his body on the line. Big, strong, brave. Another year of Balogun, I would love it. I wouldn't mind it at all.
No, definitely, as you say, we were talking about the centre half position. I think they will look at giving him another year and maybe move on to Helander.
We're losing everyone that's a centre half. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's mind-boggling, man. You've got to give him another year at least, more so than giving McGregor another year. How can you justify on performance levels giving McGregor another year?
Over Balogun, I definitely agree with that. I think hopefully we see that done and dusted pretty soon. I would like to see him here. The next one then, Leon King. I mean, if it was last season, Leon King probably go in the loan section, but now we've seen him more in the first team. He's challenging. He's looking good every time we see him. Playing at left back or centre half as well. When we have saw him, so I think he's going to be a member of this setup next season.
I watched that game with what was the under whatever it was play against Sevilla. In the whatever European competition it was, see the toughness in the kids compared to the first team. I'm telling you, it's night and day. My man there loves a challenge. He loves a real proper centre half challenge. He's not afraid to get to him, and that's what I like about him. A real centre half there for me. I know when we seen him, we were like, "How's he a centre half? He should be like a midfielder or something." The size of him, but then when he gets in the part of the place, shows you I'm a centre half, all right. I rate him, and I do think he'll be in the first team quite a lot next season. I hope he is.
I think it's time for. I think it's time for him to move into.
Got to be knocking on the door.
Yeah, I think especially as you say with the situation at centre half, he's proved he's more than capable of stepping in, and this will be the next step for Leon King coming through the academy. Another sort of academy graduate coming into the first team set up and hopefully performing at a high level. So I am looking forward to see what lies for him next season, because I do think he'll be in the plans. Next one then, Lewis Mayo, youngster again. He was on loan at not in mayonnaise. His name is actually Mayo. I had to check this so many times over the years. I'm like, is this guy actually called Mayo? Right. But he is, and he was on loan at Dunfermline, I think, last year. He was been on loan at Partick Thistle. It might be Partick Thistle last year, actually, and he was been on loan at the film, I think, in the past. But probably another loan, to be honest.
What is he similar to? Who was it? That was one of the young players we used to send them out. Was it Bar Jonas? We used to send them out on loan all the time, and
and then
I just can't
ends up
remember
he
his
just leaves anyway. I think with him, I've not seen him really at all for the first team. He's been on loan. I've not obviously seen much of him at all, but I don't think he'll come back in and make a huge impression or anything. I think he'll
You
probably
never know. You may be in
move
your
in loan
words
again.
this time next season.
Maybe I will. Maybe Lewis Mayo's
never know.
winning the Ballon d'Or next
I
year.
hope
Who
he
knows?
does. I hope he comes with the wraps and the chicken mayo, and we're cooking up business. That's all I'm saying.
But I think probably a loan for him. Alex
Aye,
Lowry then has to be a keep. I
Probably
mean,
be
if we were
fine.
sitting here and he hadn't signed that contract, obviously it'd be going top. But he signed the contract, he's committed, and surely that means he's going to be getting more first team minutes next season, hopefully.
Hopefully, mate. Really impressed him. What was the cup game? We're struggling.
Still in Albion.
Still in Albion, aye. Comes on and just changes it up, man. Just fantastic player. Even was it the Dunfermline game and all? What was that? 6th minute?
No, I don't
think.
No, he didn't play in that game, I don't think.
No, playing
it was still in Albion was the first time I think we saw him.
Aye, well, just even when he came on, mate, he's rate the kid highly, as I say. Even in that game, he's getting the under game. Sorry, I was talking about with Leon King. He's getting challenged left, right, and centre, just getting up, getting on, mate. Do you know what I mean? Just what a player. As I say, mate, I hope that he's one that is definitely, surely, as we've said, signed that new contract, he's going to be guaranteed playing a hell of a lot more minutes than just wee sub cameo appearances in the Scottish Cup and at the end of the season. So I'm hopeful he's one that's challenging for the first team.
No, well, I've just been on my phone there. Goldson's posted on Instagram as we're actually doing this. He posted 60-game season full of highs and lows, ending it with silverware, days and nights that will stay with me forever. Posting sort of some photos with him and his son and lifting the cup, the agony of the Europa League defeat. Posts like that kind of spell to me that Connor Goldson live on air will probably be leaving the club.
It's live, pal.
I'll have a look at that obviously when we're done, but it looks for that point of view
that's him done then. That's him gone.
Looks like it with a post like that. But on to Lowry again. I agree with everything you were saying there. Hopefully we see a lot more of him because he's so talented. He's so talented. I just want to see him.
Hang on a minute. Connor Goldson's basically just confirmed he's leaving me. I'm a bit angry, as I say. Just all I say, the guys, thank you. Do you know what I mean? If I could have a thank you, mate. Top performer, top class. But you can't lie. You have a bit of a wobble in you. Do you know what I mean? And it seems to happen at the worst moments. You nearly scored an own goal at your last home game, did you know?
Aye. That was the only chance I think they had, until they nearly scored.
So, I mean, overall, man, what a fantastic player. And whoever he goes to, he's getting a top centre half, but just be prepared for the wobbles. But back to Lowry. I mean, tremendous, as I was saying, mate. Just hope he gets first team football. Was there more adverts here, right? Is there more adverts on the screen?
It just keeps popping up randomly. Just it's
because
you're on this website. Lundstrom, of course, keeps.
I adore you.
Maybe even it'll be if Goldson's then leaving. Maybe he's a vice captain this season. I wouldn't be surprised at that, to be honest with you. I think he's got all the attributes to move into that role. I wouldn't be surprised if Gio does it. Obviously, you don't need to. We've talked about Lundstrom at length for months now. Of course, he stays. He's one of the most important parts of the team.
Who's the next one?
Charlie McCann.
Charlie McCann's another one that's keep. I like him a lot.
He's just so composed in the ball, so full energy all the time. Every time he gets his opportunities, he always grasps it and looks good. So.
Is he playing for Northern Ireland as well? Do you get called up?
He's called up to that team as well. So a youngster that's already getting international football for the first team.
What a midfield. Charlie McCann, Stephen Davis and Stewie Dallas.
And Dallas, I mean, that's the trio you need in your midfield there.
That would be a Tuesday night in the Champions League, would it?
That would be great. But Charlie McCann showed his level, showed he's definitely at the level we need hopefully pushes on next season and gets more first team minutes. Especially the midfield's so stacked that it's a tough position to come into, but I think he's got the quality to break through and impress. So hopefully see more of him. Cole McKinnon, seen him at the very end of last season, got his goal, looked impressive, had a really good team season for the B team.
Keep him.
I'd probably keep him about, to be honest with you. I don't think he's
he doesn't need a loan.
I don't think he needs a loan. Putting with the B team, obviously. I think
he'll. Is that him that scored against Hearts?
Aye, it'll be similar to, I think, Lowry this season. He played the majority of the football in the B team, but cup games and that he'll be involved. He scored against Hearts at Tynecastle for the first team in his debut. So big things to come for him, I think. Hopefully we see more of him. Glenn Middleton.
Give me 5 on Glenn. Give me 5 on Glenn.
I've 2 seasons on loan at St Johnstone.
Met Glenn several times. Sorry, mate. 2 seasons at St Johnstone. I was there when he won the cup. Tremendous guy. Do you know what I mean? Seems like a really nice guy. And when first time when Gerrard was saying we were all shouting for him. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot of pace, got a lot of quality. But for me, it's a sell. He needs to maybe move on, and
he needs to get a place where he is just settled.
He's comfortable and he feels like, do you know what I mean? He's not going to just get shipped out constantly. I feel it for him in that regard. There is a really, really talented player there. It's just a shame he's had to play at St Johnstone for a season in relegation football.
Yeah, I think it's best for him to...
Johnston. I'm not going to get over it.
It's best for Glenn Middleton to move on and not go out and loan every season. Just get a proper place where he sort of belongs at. Maybe similar for Niko Katic now. Just won the cup with Hagi split in Croatia, so fair play to big Katic. It's a guy he's like a cult hero. Rangers.
I don't want to give up on him.
I never want to give up on him.
Him.
Especially as we're saying with the situation at centre half, he looks to put that big injury problem behind him. He's played football for Hagi split this year, won the cup. I think Gio's going to give him a chance. I genuinely think he's going to give him a chance, and I really hope we can maybe see him back in the team again.
I'm sorry, mate. I just my boy there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to give up on him. I can't give up on him. I still think there's a top centre half there. You've said he's just won a cup in my view out in Croatia, his homeland, doing well. Does he not play with what's his name? It used to be the Monaco goalkeeper.
Nah, so Bassey, I think he does play with him.
Well, aye. So I hope Gio doesn't give up on him. I'd love to see Niko Katic come in and potentially solve some centre back problems. Can't give up on a Croatian like that. I can't. I'm sorry.
I genuinely think Gio will give him a chance, to be honest with you, and see what he's like. I really hope he's up to it, because we've seen he's obviously been a good defender. First couple of seasons, had that big injury and it sort of ruined it for him. But for him to get back on track, I don't think it was his first signing, but it was one of his first signings.
He paid proper money for
so he's hopefully. I mean, again, it wouldn't surprise me if he maybe then wants to move on. I don't know, but I think giving him a chance next season would be good. Namdi Offerbo, a tough one. We were talking about this yesterday. Before we done this, like how can you sell a guy that's never even played a game of football? Like, you don't even know what he's got to offer you. Like, he's had these issues with his health and stuff. Like, I think it would be unfair to the guy to just sell him. Understand with the finances, the wages, are you going to play kind of thing? Like, we might need to sort of cut the losses, but hopefully we actually get to see the guy play and form an opinion on him, because he's been around the games after Europe on the pitch and that. He's obviously been away with Aribo and Bassey and stuff like that on holiday, so hopefully we actually get to see him on the pitch playing football.
You're about to international duty, wouldn't you?
No. Hopefully we get to see him on the pitch.
Hopefully we do get to see him on the pitch. Whatever's going on with his heart, I really would have loved for obviously it's his personal health. He doesn't need to share it with the fans and that, but at the same time, it'd be nice to know what's genuinely going on with the guys. He's fit enough to get involved in training sessions, to be, do you know what I mean, with a chance of playing. It would be nice to see him next season, hopefully kick a ball. As you say, we can't form an opinion on him because he's never played in for the club. I don't know, it's just sort of, I know Jordan Rossiter played for the club, he played some minutes, but hope it's not one of them. Do you know what I mean? He comes in and he only plays like 2 games, and then he shows a bit of quality, and
I
then he's
think
just
it'll be telling in the summer if he's still not involved in the pre-season. It'll be sort of like.
But and then that comes to it where I know he's got hanged, but you can't just keep him because he's got health problems and you feel sorry for him. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, of course. If he's not playing in pre-season and we're not actually seeing him on the pitch, like surely that means he'll be on his way. But I'm willing to give the guy a chance and actually see him play football. Hopefully in pre-season he actually is cleared to play and is all right. So, aye, hopefully. Aaron Ramsey next. It's a tough one because we read obviously on Twitter that his contract is going to be terminated at Juventus. He's going to be available on a free. I would love to take him, to be honest with you. I think a player that has quality. Every time he's played, he's shown that level, but I just don't think Gio rates him. I think that's probably the most telling thing. Similar with Helander, I just don't think Gio really fancies Ramsey, to be honest with you.
If he's not bringing you on in the both finals, if he's not bringing him on both finals, I can understand maybe Europa League tactics and what have you. But Scottish Cup final, if he's not starting you, that tells you everything you need to know about what Gio thinks. And for me personally, I just think Gio doesn't rate him at all. And then I come to question, I go, well, why is he hitting a penalty? That's what I always question. I always question two things. Why did Conor Goldson not just put his leg out? And why did he hit a penalty if he's no good at him? If you look at Arsenal, maybe Arsenal fans are knowing he was going to miss it. But anyway, they're than a free. I mean, I do believe there's a quality player there. I really do.
Of course, yes, he's a top player.
There's no doubt about that. I would love to take him on a free. Do you know what I mean? If he's there for a free, I would take him. But it all comes back to Gio, and as we said with Helander, I just don't think Gio rates him. I don't think he fits into what Gio sort of has already got in his mind for the summer plans. I don't think Aaron Ramsey fits in there. It was a nice signing. Do you know what I mean? It was a good buzz. The fan when he first came in the door, I thought, wow, Ramsey. But and I also just thought in the back of my mind, injury prone is you know what. So
I think just down to that as well. I don't think you can rely on because you'll still need to get the checkbook out and pay him quite a good bit of wages to get him. Although definitely, but
if it means a situation where we've got him at the club because he's at the club, I remember you telling me about this. Wales get to the World Cup and Gareth Bale goes, "Yeah, listen, I'll come to a year at Rangers if you want." Aye, Gareth, I'm all for that, son. You can come to Rangers if you want, win Champions League, where you'd actually be appreciated, unlike the scum fans in Madrid. So
I think for me, I would love to put him here. I'd love to keep him. I'd love to give him a place to actually, because it's not worked out for him at Juventus, and he's also out on loan. I think it will. I don't think we'll take up the.
Just as I say, his loan spell's only going to be remembered with that penalty, and that's what I don't like. You should at least give the guy the Scottish Cup final to play in. Do you know what I mean? Potentially do something there. But
it was good, as you say, to sign a player of that caliber and get the buzz. And I just don't think you could trust him really for a full season to not go injured, which is unfortunate.
Is this who I think it is, Mister? You can't see me.
This is Robbie McCrory.
You can't see him, Robbie McCrory.
Of course, he'll probably go and keep. As we were speaking about with John, McLaughlin, him, whoever we sign, if it's Al McGregor, if it's another goalie we bring in, fighting for the number one jersey, you've got to keep yourself open to all possibilities, don't you? So I think Robbie McCrory will still be one of the goalies next year.
I hope Robbie McCrory is. Do you know what I mean? 2 massive games. Do you know what I mean? The 1-0 against Celtic at home, and then obviously the European as well. Came in, did the job, and he looked perfectly fine. I hope he's thinking himself and all. Fingers crossed that after McGregor's done it, maybe he'll have a shout at maybe pressing Gio and showing Gio that he could be his number one keeper. I would like to see the keepers not just accept their roles, do you know what I mean, and be like, oh, well, I'm a third keeper, I'm a second. Well, go and challenge, do you know what I mean? Go and see if Gio, you can press Gio enough to become the first team. But I definitely keep him, mate.
The next one, Kamara Roof. I think this is one that always divides opinion.
I don't know how.
Because you see him, no matter how many games he plays a season, he'll always get you probably 10, 15 goals a season. That's him being injured. If you get a Kamara Roof that's fit all season,
You're not going to get that, but
it's
like
annoying. It's annoying, but if you could,
yeah.
I mean, he's going to score you plenty of goals all season. I think.
Look at his record already. Look at his record for us
Exactly.
already. Impressive
Especially
career.
when Morelos is away for international duty and stuff like that. It's going to hopefully not happen, but it might. You've got Kamara Roof to rely on. We've shown we can adapt and play his game, which is good. Against Braga, Scottish Cup semi-final, he played and he ran himself into the ground. Like, does a lot of hard work, and he'll always pop up with a goal when you need it. So for me, that Braga game really changed the way I look at Roof. I always looked at Roof sort of under Gio being like, nah, he doesn't really play at all, like, even if off the bench or that, but he trusted him. And I think that was, as I said to you that night, maybe one of the best number 9 performances I've ever seen at Rangers at Braga game. He done everything right. He probably could have had 4 goals in another night. Like,
I'll argue that he should have had probably 4 goals, Jack. I don't know where they were getting that.
Aye, but I definitely
keep it is. A half, as I'm saying, you're never going to get a full fit Kemar Roof for a full entire season. It's just not going to happen. But the amount of goals he offers us, you'd still take him half fit. Similar to Ramsey, I'd still take a half fit Ramsey because I know he can still do the job. But Kemar, for me, man, he's a keep. As you say, Braga game. Just, I mean, what a night. He should have, as I say, I'll argue all day long. None of the goals were offside. My man should have been walking away with 5 in the bag, honestly. But you can't let Kemar Roof leave. Come on, I enjoy the Instagram videos with the music playing and the celebrations getting shown. I'm not letting him go anywhere.
I genuinely just think he's a top forward. He's a good guy to have around.
I just feel sorry for the people that don't rate him. I really do. I don't know how you can't rate my boy Kemar. Been vital for both of the teams there, Jack. He's been vital when he was at obviously the Leeds, and now he's at the Rangers, which is fantastic. Enjoying. So it was sad days when I couldn't enjoy watching Kemar Roof play football, and just to have him at the club, it's fantastic. I love it.
Aye, of course, and I really hope we do keep him and see more of him next season and get him back fit and firing. And of course, he stepped up and took a penalty and took it well. So, aye. Hopefully next season we keep Roof. Ryan Jack obviously played a large majority of Gio's games after the Celtic loss 3-0 win. He came into the squad, cemented his place in there. Him and Lundstrom formed a really good partnership, and he sort of took off for there. Never really took any injuries, and then the season finishes. He's about to go play for Scotland. Ryan Jack's injured.
He's a smart man, is Ryan Jack. He's a smart man. He realised I'm going to have to play for Steve Clark, that alcoholic. I'm not doing that. I'm going on my summer holidays, play some golf, chill out with the family, get ready for Rangers' upcoming season with Gio and the boys.
I respect it. Hopefully it is just a minor injury. I wouldn't like for the big injury that he went for surgery and all that one to be something that's came back up and we might honestly lose him again.
He's somebody, sorry to cut you off there, but he's somebody you just want to phone him and just say, look, going to just retire for the international team. Can I just, what's the point, mate? Just please retire and enjoy your football at Rangers and give it that big oomph for a strike to win the Scottish Cup. As you say, under Gio, I was questioning, obviously beforehand, I did think to myself, he's starting to get a bit too injury prone. Is it maybe going to be one of them where he's going to be just maybe shipped out? But he's staying definitely, 100%.
And you look at the goal at one is the Scottish Cup final and screamer of a goal coming on and doing well. Ryan Jack's he's a really good player to have around. Showed his level multiple times against multiple opposition. Definitely keep him around. This time next season when we're doing this, probably looking at extending his contract because I think Kids is running down as well. Would like to keep him at the club. Definitely. Ryan Kent, I'm going to loan Ryan Kent out actually. Ryan Kent, of course, has to be a new contract. I don't know what we're doing. Obviously, all of these players' contracts are running down and stuff, but a player like Ryan Kent that was signed for that much money, you know the pool that he has, the teams. Leeds were looking at him obviously last season. Leeds have always been admirers of him. You need to get a guy tied down. Look what he done last season. Although the goals wasn't there, I mean, 9 times out of 10, he's always providing assists, and he's always the creative outlet in that left-hand side. And Kent has to sign a new contract. Would love to see him at the club for multiple more seasons, because he has a joy watching when he's on his game.
No, definitely, mate. I mean, as you know, just bought a house and all that patter up here, as I seen in the tweets.
I mean, so we see on Twitter. I really don't know how to take any of these things. I'm like, how do you even find that out?
Do you know what it is? I mean, Ryan Kent's got it. Can't find enough words to describe how important Ryan Kent is to this team, and how important it's just a joy to watch. I mean, somebody like Lowry as well coming through. Do you know what I mean? Just to be training with him, learning off of him. I mean, there's so much you could learn off a player like Ryan Kent and his experiences as well. Think about his loan spell in Germany when we had him on the podcast. You know what I mean? It wasn't really, nobody made a fuss. Do you know what I mean? But now they're making a fuss. Now they were making a fuss because he battered the yellow wall down, and he was unlucky to lose a game. We won't talk about, but I know. Listen, key, massive. You've got to say, all those players we've got in the new contracts. How can they be allowed to just let the contract go down?
No, because you need to remember, Ross Wilson says that they're currently relaxed on the contract situations of the players. You've got to remember that. Like, it doesn't matter.
So relaxed that we just let them leave on a free. I still can't. I would have loved to have a bit of money for Connor Goldson, to be honest with you.
I think that's the most annoying part about it is that whole, like, because he's a 10 million centre half at least. Like, we paid 3 million for him.
At least. But no, Ryan Kent's got to be tied down. I hope he's bought a house up here and the horses are all up here, and he's chilling. He's living life. For me, he's somebody I could see. I don't want to hang me up, fingers crossed. I could see him as a lifer, man. I really do. I don't see him wanting to go into. I mean, he just seems content here.
He does seem pretty happy at Rangers. I'll say that much.
When you watched him like going around in the European nights, and you just all of them are taking it all in. I was just really focused. You know what I mean? You could just see how, like, he knows he ain't going to go down England and experience something like that. Do you know what I mean? He's been there for Liverpool. He wasn't really angry for Liverpool, but for us, he's Everton, man. He's Everton. So for me, he's get the contract out, sign it. But apparently we're relaxed. We're all on vacation when it comes to contracts.
I know. I really hope we get that situation sorted. Hopefully Ryan Kent's here next summer. Because as you say, vital. Would be a hard guy to replace, definitely. Fashion Sakala, I'm pretty sure he played in the Champions League final the other night, because that's who Salah was imitating, I think, at times. But Fashion Sakala, we spoke about him last week. We were doing the review of the season, and he's done all right with limited starts and coming off the bench to get the amount of goals that he has in his first season. He's always obviously still raw. You want him out there practicing all summer, and I think if we get him out there practicing all summer,
mentality. I need him to have that. And I like the picture you've used there, scoring into the European champions Real Madrid. I like that. If you were looking at his stats, you would think but see, just watching him play football, bro, I need you to do more, man. I really do. As you say, we see playing in that Champions League final the other night. I'm saying he has to have a Mamba mentality, Michael Jordan-esque mentality. No days off in the summer, bro. I need you to go constant, honestly. But I do think there is something there with Fashion. I think he's decent enough. Do you know what I mean?
He's a good option to have. He's a different option
to have. As I say, when you watch him at the last Old Firm at Celtic Park there, so frustrating at times, and then when he gets that goal, I'm like, what a strike that was, by the way that he scored that goal. But it's just one that needs to have a Mamba mentality, and he needs to just focus all summer. No days off, bro. Get better. Like, I want to see him do well. I do. I mean, come on, the smile itself. Look, you not fall in love with this guy. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know. It's going to be a big season for Sakala next year. Now that's his first season under his belt. Looking for him to kick on next year. Scott Arfield, obviously, has signed on for his.
How funny is that, by the way? Oh, I hear, by the way, Morelos' contract's running down, Bassey's, Aribo and Kent's. But sorry, Scott Arfield's a priority. Get him signed that 1 year extension. Do you know what I mean? I joke. I really don't. I don't know if I could put myself through watching another season of Scott Arfield. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I would really have loved to move on for him, and sort of. It seems like Gio rates him though.
I hope it's just a rotation sort of situation where he's not starting all the time. I hope, because I'm fine with that. If he has to come on in games and starts the odd few, I understand having a player like that about. But I think I can't watch a guy for a full season again.
Well, the way you feel about him is the way I feel about McGregor right now. I can't go another year of that. I'm not too fussed with Arfield. I think another year of Arfield, I'm happy. I'm fine with, as you say, as long as it's in that squad rotation. But I'm not too fussed when it comes to Arfield. The next man coming up here.
The next man, see if this was 2 months ago, he would have been probably one of the first names in there. Scott Wright's staying. Scott Wright is part of the plans next season, which still seems weird to even say, but he's scoring goals, he's adding product to his game now. He's looking sharp every time he comes on. He's adding new dimension to his game, and he just looks. He looks like he's more of a Rangers player now. He really looked like we only signed him kind of like just whatever that season, but you can see he's got quality. Hopefully, next season he can continue from where he left off. And I mean, he could have been Chapman though for a Scotland call-up, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know how he wasn't looked at, especially with no wingers. You're taking 4 goalies. Scott Wright's just played in a European final and scored in the Scottish Cup final. Like, surely you maybe look at a guy like that, but I think a Scotland call-up is probably coming his way soon as well. And I'm just happy for the guy. It's a guy we have criticised at length, by the way. Like, I'm not covering up anything. We have criticised this guy at length, but he's won me over. And hopefully he continues, and I'm not back to that place where I was at that Livingston game, literally screaming my head off because he couldn't cross a ball. Hopefully he's put all that behind him and he really kicks on.
Reverse psychology, Jack. This is how you get somebody motivated to realise their potential. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm the same as you. Made me eat my words away. Do you know what I mean? As I said, was but one of the only ones that turned up in the European final and scored a fantastic goal in the Scottish Cup. I'll say it, he should be in the Scotland team. I don't care what anybody says. How do you go to a European final, win a Scottish Cup and no get into your national side? But it's all right, we'll take 4 goalkeepers on the Ukraine. But for me, you can tell Gio has a soft spot for him. I think Gio has a real soft spot for him, has a real likeness towards him. And I hope he proves us wrong, mate. Again, I hope he really does. I hope he turns up next season and has a phenomenal season. Scored a yell to go at the start, and then, as you say, the Livingston game, we're all screaming at him because he can't cross the ball. So, it's one of them. But hopefully next season he kicks on and continues to perform the way he has been performing recently. Eat my words, mate. Can't even get them out. But no, I'm hopeful for Scott Wright next season.
I think he'll do well, to be honest with you. Showed in glimpses at the end of the season that when he's trusted, he's sort of a confidence player. He thrives off being included in the team. It was obviously hard for him at times being out of the squad completely, but it's nice to see he's kicked on, and hopefully next season maybe that right wing position will be nailed down for Scott Wright. Who knows?
It won't be, but
Stephen Kelly. I mean, this was a guy we were talking about a year ago that there's going to be in the next coming of Christ in this team, but he's Salford loan.
That disgusted me. I'm just going to have a minute here, Jack, if you don't mind. That loan disgusted me. You know what I mean? Gary Neville sacks managers, you know what I mean, quicker than the government are getting sacked, you know what I mean? This guy here, I mean, I thought he looked fantastic when we seen him play. I thought he looked like a real top player. The way he delivered the ball in, I not saying he was Kevin De Bruyne on the crosses, do you know what I mean? So that's one for me that was a bit confusing. Did he not have a really good season and all with Ross County when he was on loan with him?
He's shown that he's definitely the level of the league, but
I wouldn't want to give up on him personally. I look at him and I think I don't want to give up on you.
I think maybe a loan, by the way.
Another loan, but I don't want to be one of the cases where, do you know what I mean? As a fan, I love him and I want him to see him play and start. But it's like the Greg Docherty and all that, where it's like they're just going to get discarded and go and play for a League One or a Championship team. Do you know what I mean? Which, if he does, fair play, all the best to him. But I would really like to see this guy maybe get a chance, man. And by the end of the day, he's probably going to get loaned out and then sold to like Accrington Stanley or something.
I think it looked promising at the start of last season. He was sort of Gerrard integrated him into the team a wee bit. We got a few first team minutes and that, but on loan comes back, I think he might go out on loan again or sold, to be honest. I don't really see him featuring at all for the first team. The next one, Stephen Davis.
I'm keeping him. I don't care what you say. Davis gets another year. If Scott Arfield gets another year.
That's what you need to say, of course. You need to compare the two of them. Davis is, if you're going to lose McGregor, having Davis in that dressing room is a big thing. Especially with the quality he has as well. Like, I understand moving away for these players and signing new talent, and then as you think about it more, like his influence in the team and still playing international football, the influence he's probably going to have to his successor McCann. Like, they're playing the same position together in the same national team, and hopefully maybe next season Charlie McCann is the new Stephen Davis. But I think Davis will probably get another year.
Davis should get another year. As I said, Scott Arfield's getting another year. Stephen Davis gets another year. But then some people might say, oh, well, no, Alan McGregor doesn't get another year. Go away. He doesn't. But no, Davis for me can still do a job. I
mean, if there was a tier for its own, just being like never ever leave, it would probably be Tavernier.
That would be GOAT status.
Of course, he's not going anywhere. Of course, Tavernier is a captain. He's here. He's ready to take us on to another season. And hopefully to the same degree last season. I mean, he was outstanding last year. And I'm really hoping he takes that same performance level and just keeps proving himself to everybody, because there's still doubters in Tavernier, believe it or not. Like, there's still people that doubt this guy being the captain of the club. Like,
no, see, for me, let's all hold our hands up. We all didn't think this guy's not a Rangers captain. This guy is a Rangers captain. He's made me eat my words personally. The way he carries himself off the park and on it, it's just phenomenal. As I said, player of the season for me. They're in Europe and whatever. He just constantly steps up. I would never want the guy to leave. I couldn't imagine, as we said, Jack, it's going to be weird to look at the team sheet next season and no see Tavernier and Connor Goldson both starting together. Like, it's just going to be weird to look at that. I could not imagine looking at the team sheet and there's no Tavernier there. That to me is just a world where I don't want to really think about really. But no, Tav, never ever leave. GOAT status, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and then we're finishing off in his young right back competition, Mateusz Zukowski. Seen he was replying to a few fans on Twitter when he was tweeting about the Scottish Cup final when he was injured, actually. So that's why we didn't see him feature at all. At the end of the season, we thought we were really going to see this guy and he was going to get his opportunity. He's only currently played one game, and it was that Annan game. Looked decent that night. Yeah, he looked pretty decent. He's played minutes for the Polish team. I think it was the under 21 team he's in. Lechia Gdansk, he's over there. He was playing the first team. So definitely good to have in around the squad. Hopefully we actually get to see a bit more of him next year. And he's going to be the second right back for Tavernier. Doesn't miss many games, does he? So it might be hard for him to get in there. So at this time, January, maybe we're putting him in here for a loan deal, but at the moment, deserves his chance to actually play, and hopefully we get to see him in pre-season. But
hopefully, as I said, mate, he was impressive in that one game that we've seen, and he's understudy to Tav now. So I mean, I know you said in January time maybe put him in a loan. I'd keep him mulgarated in there. It'd be nice to see more of him. See, this is the difference. We all thought, do you know what I mean? Oh, if they're good enough, Gerrard would play him. Gio's going to play him, and that's what I love, man. We smacked Hearts at the end of the season. I don't care what Hearts fans say or whatever. We smacked them mostly with our young players, do you know what I mean? Which was just fantastic to see. Do you know what I mean? Craig Golden had a fantastic game against the Scottish Cup, do you know what I mean?
But see against Hearts, Gio's just get Robbie Nielsen's number. Every time we played them, we pumped them. Every time. And Hearts are always a really tough team to play in the best of times. Every time we played them, we fucking battered them. Maybe the only one was we still won 2-0 at Tynecastle, but Hearts gave us a better game that day. But Gio's get Robbie Nielsen's number. 5-0 at home, 3-1 with the boys, and then 2-0 in the Scottish Cup final.
No, but listen, I'm really hoping, just when obviously we'll be talking through some of the transfer links and what have you, that we do sign some decent young players as well, do you know what I mean? Go and raid the Ajax Academy. You got the boy there. Just tell us all the good potential, do you know what I mean? We'll sign them all.
I know, but Yeah, that's the thing. Just finishing off with is the players that we've been linked to. Obviously, it's not going to be anything sort of concrete as of yet. Like, season's finished a week ago. Like, players are on holiday doing whatever. Like, Gio's away at the F1. Like, he's not doing any business currently. He deserves his time off. We get to work obviously during the summer, and I really hope that the contract situations that we've got here, we're talking about, are settled, and we've got players committed to the cause, and we start building for next season. The links that I've seen so far for the transfers haven't been inspiring to me, really. Like Ross Stewart for Sunderland, I know he's had a great season, scored in the playoff final for them to get into the Championship, but I just don't think that's at the level that we need to really progress into where we want to be.
At the level that we need and progress. Morelos getting a little Colombian friend in the door. That boy that was at Ajax, I'd take him.
No, well, that was the link that really got me excited last week. Mateo Casiera, I think is his name. He plays in Russia as well, so I mean, it might not be the best place for him. He plays football currently at the Ajax Academy. He played first team football for Ajax. He's at Sochi in Russia. Could get him for a cut price deal, especially with everyone going over there. And he's scored, I think, maybe 15 goals this season in that Russian league. So definitely maybe an option. And it would keep Morelos happy as well.
Would keep Morelos happy, very happy. But this is something we're saying, you know, deals that make sense to myself and you don't make sense to Ross Wilson and the board, apparently. Do you know what I mean? But there's players there that we could have signed on Ross Wilson's favourite, a free contract that are now at Union Berlin, or where Roma, that boy, he said last night about. It's frustrating, and I'm really upset you don't have them on there, the board, because they'd be in sale, and my boy Greggy Stewart would be in new contract, keep goat status with Tavernier.
Aye, I know. As you say, look, with the signs, I really hope we do kick on and have a good summer.
See if we sign him for Sunderland, right? That just shows me everything that tells me everything I need to know. It really does. Might come up here and might be a decent player, but I'm sorry, we're trying to compete to get Champions League.
See if he's strictly like, right, we'll play you in the league kind of striker. Obviously, played with Ross County before. Let's see if it's that type of. It's just, it's not inspiring me. Like, I would love to. We've been linked with the Dutch striker Dalinga over in the Eredivisie, and he's available this summer. We've got Dutch coaching staff. I really thought we would be linked to more Dutch prospects and more sort of avenues, but I really don't want to be signing Ross Stewart personally. Ellis Sims was another one that came up. Kenny Miller recommended to sign Ellis Sims. Again, not really for me. I just don't feel that's the level we should be aiming for personally. I think he's a decent enough striker, but I don't know. If you had to pick between the two, Ross Stewart or Sims, I would take Sims, but I just think we should be maybe looking for more. I know that all of this money that we got for Europa League isn't going to be spent on just transfers, but I really hope Gio's given a good budget to go play with, and we've seen like for transfers we've made that we can still pick up good players for a couple of million at a time, and they're going to be like good players for us. So hopefully he's actually given money to work with.
No, listen, we're not asking to, do you know what I mean, sing Kylian Mbappe or Neymar. We're just asking for a bit of quality in the team, a bit of quality come into the side and excite us as fans. Do you know what I mean? But don't get us wrong, there's enough players there like to excite you, but something like that just doesn't give me confidence, man. Like, we're linked with that boy for Sunderland, as I say, man. I'd rather take Charles Cook for Ross County, personally. I'd rather take him in if we're going for him to go. Get him in the door. Sims, I prefer the signing Sims over that boy, as I say, get a bit more experience, obviously, playing in the league. Obviously, I know he's played for Ross County, but I don't know, man. None of these signings fill me with confidence, man. I just want to see like signing like Ramsey, do you know what I mean? That excited us and, do you know what I mean, gave us confidence. I just want to, it's just frustrating. It's a frustrating situation, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm just fingers crossed that Alan McGregor doesn't sign a contract, and I'll keep going on about it. But need world class, Jack. You get the man that's going to win the Ballon d'Or, and that's Greggy Stewart. Get him in the door.
Aye, and that sort of finishes it off then. Hopefully this summer we've got a lot to to be excited about with the transfer rumours we're getting in, and hopefully the situation on the screen is similar to what we've predicted going into next year as well. So, as always, if you could like, subscribe, share about for us, very much appreciated. And I don't know if we'll be back for an episode next week. We're just kind of finished off this season. We'll see what transfer rumours and news comes up, and we'll get back to you with our thoughts on that. So, as always, cheers, and we'll see you later.